Ever wondered how a man could almost bring the mighty Roman Empire to its knees single-handedly? Let's unravel the mystique of this extraordinary individual, a man born under the North African sun in ancient Carthage, a man named Hannibal Barca. Hannibal was not simply a product of his time but a force that shaped it. Born into a military family, he was the son of Hannibal Barca, a renowned Carthaginian general. From a young age, Hannibal was steeped in the art of war, absorbing his father's strategies and tactics, while also developing a keen understanding of political landscapes. His upbringing was a blend of intense military training and profound cultural immersion, all under the watchful eyes of his father. This unique combination of experiences molded Hannibal into a formidable leader, a strategist par excellence, and a feared opponent on the battlefield. This man was Hannibal Barca, a military genius who left an indelible mark on history. Carthage was not just a city to Hannibal, it was a promise made at the tender age of 9 as he stood beside his father, the formidable Hannibal Barca. An oath was taken, a vow to the gods and to Carthage, that he would never be a friend to Rome. This promise, like a seed, was planted deep within him, germinating into a lifelong pursuit of vengeance against the Roman Empire. The journey to Iberia was a significant milestone in this quest. Young Hannibal found himself in the throes of a strange land, taking the reins of the Carthaginian army following his father's death. It was here, on the Iberian soil, that he began to mold his army, preparing them for the trials that lay ahead, sculpting them into an unstoppable force. The stage was set, and Hannibal, his heart aflame with the promise he had made, was ready for war. Hannibal's audacity knew no bounds, and his most daring feat was yet to come. The audacious Carthaginian general would take the road less traveled, a path laden with danger and uncertainty: the formidable Alps. His objective was clear: to strike Rome, but not from the expected south, but from the unguarded north. The crossing of the Alps was a military maneuver that was practically unheard of. It was a journey fraught with peril, from the hostile mountain tribes lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce at any sign of weakness, to the harsh, unforgiving weather that turned the landscape into a frozen wasteland. Yet, Hannibal, with his indomitable spirit, pressed on. The terrain was treacherous, a cruel combination of steep cliffs, frozen paths, and narrow ledges. Every step was a gamble, a dance with death. The Carthaginian army, composed largely of North African elephants and a motley crew of soldiers, had to face not just the physical challenges but the psychological terror of the journey. The sight of the towering peaks, the bone-chilling cold, and the constant threat of an avalanche was enough to drive the bravest men to the brink of despair. But Hannibal was no ordinary leader. He was a beacon of hope, a pillar of strength. He led from the front, sharing in the hardships, braving the same dangers, and constantly inspiring his men to push beyond their limits. He quelled mutinies, negotiated with hostile tribes, and even managed to get his elephants across the mountains, a feat that seemed impossible. The crossing was not without its losses. Many soldiers succumbed to the cold, disease, or fell prey to hostile tribes. Yet, the majority of the army survived and emerged from the other side. They were battered, weary, but unbowed. They had taken on the impossible and prevailed. The crossing of the Alps was indeed a testament to Hannibal's strategic genius and his unwavering resolve. It was a gamble that paid off, catching the Romans off guard and putting them on the defensive. Against all odds, Hannibal emerged from the Alps, his eyes set on Rome. The Battle of Cannae was a testament to Hannibal's tactical genius. As the Carthaginian general faced off against the might of Rome, he found himself outnumbered nearly 2-1, yet he wasn't daunted. For Hannibal, this was simply another opportunity to showcase his unparalleled strategic acumen. The Battle of Cannae, fought in 216 BC, was a masterclass in military strategy, forever etched in the annals of history. Hannibal's forces, a motley crew of mercenaries, Gauls, and Carthaginians, stood against Rome's well-trained legions. The Romans, confident in their superior numbers, anticipated an easy victory. Little did they know, they were playing right into Hannibal's hands. The centerpiece of Hannibal's strategy was the double envelopment tactic, a maneuver so audacious, it was virtually unheard of at the time. He positioned his weakest troops in the center of his formation, creating a bulge that invited the Romans to attack. As they did, his stronger troops on the flanks held their ground, allowing the center to slowly retreat and draw the Romans in deeper. This created a crescent formation, with the Romans unwittingly trapped inside. Then Hannibal unleashed his cavalry, which had been hidden behind his infantry. They charged from the rear, completing the encirclement of the Roman forces. The Romans were surrounded on all sides, and in the ensuing chaos, the Carthaginian forces descended upon them, cutting them down with ruthless efficiency. The result was catastrophic for the Romans. Tens of thousands of their soldiers perished in what was one of the most devastating defeats in their history. Hannibal, on the other hand, had pulled off a victory against overwhelming odds, losing only a fraction of his own troops. This battle is still studied in military academies today, not just for its audacious tactics, but as a testament to the power of strategic innovation and the ability to turn perceived weaknesses into strengths. In the face of overwhelming odds, Hannibal delivered one of the most crushing defeats in Roman history. Hannibal's story is one of audacity, strategy, and unyielding determination. A Carthaginian general who stood against the might of Rome, his military acumen resonates through the annals of history. His audacious journey across the perilous terrain of the Alps, an act of unflinching bravery, speaks volumes of his tactical genius. Outmaneuvering the enemy by taking the road less traveled, he placed his faith in the unexpected, turning the tide of war in his favor. His victory at the Battle of Cannae remains a testament to his strategic brilliance. Outnumbered yet not outwitted, Hannibal encircled the Roman legions, masterminding one of the greatest military victories of all time. His story is a narrative of resilience, of the audacity to dream, and the will to realize that dream against all odds. Hannibal Barca, a name etched in history, a military genius who dared to challenge Rome, leaving a legacy that echoes through the ages.